Do you know any of those people who seem to go through life with this knowledge of their own personal worth, with a deep sense of security? They seem to exist with this inner confidence. I see people like that in my life, and I think, I want to be more like that. In my own personal search for self-confidence, I've begun to see what key players abundance and scarcity are in my life, and specifically about how I feel about myself and how I feel about others, or rather, how I feel about myself in relation to others. I'd like to give you a brief overview of scarcity and abundance mindsets, where they came from, what they really are, and then we're going to dive into the work of figuring out how to transcend from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, which will boost that self-confidence and help us to have that deep sense of personal worth that we see and admire in those people. Stephen Covey wrote this seminal work, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which has changed business and management forever. Well, within that book, he describes 2 mentalities, the scarcity and the abundance mentality. I'm guessing that somewhere along the line, these mentalities met up with Carol Dweck's fixed and growth mindsets. And so today, when we talk about abundance and scarcity, we almost always talk about them in terms of mindsets instead of mentalities, just in case you were wondering. Now, abundance operates from the point of view that there is enough for everyone. There is plenty and to share. There's enough time, money, energy, praise, recognition, room at the top. There is an abundance, and it's all there and available for anyone. Abundance flows from this deep sense of personal worth and security. It also recognizes and values the worth of other people. It's genuine and appreciates others for who they are and what they contribute. It sees unlimited possibilities for growth and development. Abundance is never lessened by the achievements or progress or recognition of others, because it knows that when others succeed, that just increases opportunities for positive interactions with other people. Scarcity, on the other hand, comes from a perspective of life as a big pie. And there's only so much to go around. So if someone gets a bigger slice of the pie, that means less for everybody else. The scarcity mindset gets its sense of self-worth from being compared to others, which means that any other person's success means their failure, and vice versa. In many ways, the scarcity mindset is like living life on a bell curve. There's only so many A positions. There's only so many number 1 spots. And so the objective becomes success means to beat others. Scarcity is a zero-sum paradigm for life. So scarcity sees the world through this lens of always competing, always comparing themselves to others. To me, it seems that scarcity gets its fuel from fear. Scarcity. Fear of not having enough. Fear of not being enough, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of loss. As I've learned more about the abundance and scarcity mindsets, I've come to see in my own life how scarcity holds me back from having that confidence that comes from a feeling of being and having enough. There's a security there. Now, we could discuss all day how scarcity and abundance show up in our lives and how that affects us. But the key is, how do we escape the clutches of scarcity? How do we transcend and move beyond the fear and the competition and the comparison to embrace the self-confidence and security and personal worth that comes with abundance? Now, since abundance is all about having enough, about plenty to share, that's where it starts. Today, I'm going to give you 4 ways that you can evolve from scarcity to an abundance mindset through sharing. Now, scarcity has a hard time sharing recognition or prestige, even with people who have earned it and contributed to the overall success. So the key then is to share that recognition and prestige with others. When someone tells a joke and then you repeat that joke to someone else, give that person who told you the joke originally credit. That is one way to give abundance, to share the recognition. If someone helps on a project or shares an idea and it somehow contributed to your success, share that recognition and credit. It can be something as simple as, well, Sharon gave me the idea. There's nothing that is lost by doing that. Instead, it opens your heart. Because scarcity struggles to share recognition and prestige, you have to resist the temptation to diminish somebody else's time in the spotlight with that kind of passive-aggressive joking, not joking, or bringing up some past fault or mistake to try to lessen their time in the spotlight. Oh yeah, well, this may have gone well, but remember the last time when you tried something and how that failed? What? I'm just joking. No, you're not. You're trying to smush down their time in the spotlight. And if that happens, that is a scarcity mindset hallmark. The key then is to embrace abundance by intrinsically knowing that you have had and will have your own spotlight moments. There are plenty of spotlight moments to share. If this seems to be a struggle for you, apply trust. Trust that there is plenty of room at the top for lots of number ones, lots of people to enjoy and to celebrate. Share that recognition, share the prestige. Trust is a lot like reps at the gym, like building a muscle. The more you apply trust, even in thin little layers, one layer at a time, it builds up, and then it'll be easier to find and easier to get to the more you use it. People locked in a scarcity mindset believe that there can only be one person in control, and that one person must be them. Ugh, how exhausting to have to maintain all of that control. What a burden to have to be involved in every decision that every person makes all of the time. Micromanagers. Oy, scarcity mindset. Yes. To conquer this, share control. Share the decision-making with others. Whether that is your kids, your spouse, your friends, coworkers, your significant other, let go of some of that control and share, and resist the temptation to step in and take over. Back in the day when PlayStation 1, if you can even remember back that far, when it was a thing, we had this PlayStation. We had 2 boys and then 2 girls. So when it was the girls' turn to play, they're younger. They're not quite as adept, quite as fast thinking. They weren't maneuvering quite like the boys would want them to. And it was killing them to watch these little girls play this game. So you could see them saying, hey, let me just help you. I just want to help. And suddenly the boys are in front playing the whole game and the girls are standing on the side watching. I don't know if you've ever seen that or been a part of that in your life. We need to share control and share the decision making in order to embrace abundance. Now, this may be a lot easier to say than to actually do. It's really hard to let go of control. I think especially for parents, let your kids make their own appointments, set their own appointments with the dentist, with the doctor's office. That means allowing them, or rather encouraging them, to make those phone calls themselves. That gives them self-efficacy. This doesn't mean you just leave them out there on their own. They need some structure, but it builds this sense of confidence within themselves that they are enough. If you make all of their decisions for them, for their lives, they never get to feel that sense of self-efficacy. And you, as a parent, can be a huge part in helping them feel that control, self-worth, self-efficacy simply by letting go of some control and allowing them to make some decisions. Now, another great thing about shared decision making is that when you are open to sharing ideas, to sharing the decision-making process, you get so many other alternatives. It also gives ownership. Everybody is involved in that decision, and so everybody has ownership in that decision and in reaching for the success of that project. People locked in a scarcity mindset struggle to be team players because they want things to be done the way they want things to be done. They seem to find other outside ideas or opinions almost like disloyalty or belligerence, and they feel very threatened by that. That's why many times people locked in a scarcity mindset will surround themselves with people that they deem to be weaker than them, are often seen as bullies, or surround themselves with yes men or women so that they feel some sense of superiority. One way to overcome this is to share appreciation for others. Recognize and acknowledge their contributions, who they are, and what makes them valuable. Recognition looks outside of the self to see what there is in others. Acknowledgement is about noticing, recognizing what there is in others and expressing that acknowledgement, expressing that recognition with a tone of appreciation, with a tone of curiosity or surprise, but without judgment. What this sounds like is, you worked really hard on this. I can see you've made progress. This must have been difficult for you, and you overcame. I have found that people need acknowledgement almost as much as they need food, water, and shelter. It is a basic staple of life. People need to be acknowledged, and they will do a lot and go a long way for acknowledgement. It doesn't even have to be loving, warm acknowledgement. They just need to know that they are seen by others. Simple words like, you've grown, you care about your job, you've been through a lot, you care about other people, you have integrity. These are simple acknowledgements, simple recognitions of what another person is. You can see that there's no cheerleading, there's no pom-poms. It's not about compliments or praise. So don't be afraid that by sharing appreciation, you suddenly have to become a cheerleader of sorts. You can share appreciation simply by acknowledging what others are and what they have done. All it costs is for us to step outside of ourselves, look at others, find a way to share appreciation. Scarcity is driven by selfishness, and selfishness kills empathy and sympathy. That is why it is so hard for people who are locked in a scarcity mindset to be genuinely happy for the success of others. This is especially true of close friends and family members. They can express outward verbal happiness. Oh, congratulations. Oh, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. But inwardly, scarcity is eating its heart out, and it may even be secretly hoping for some acceptable misfortune to keep them in their place. Someone lives in a lovely new home. Scarcity mindset replies, they probably have a horrible marriage and drug-addicted, spoiled kids. Someone gets a promotion at work. Scarcity says, they're such a butt kisser. They suck up to the boss. That's the only reason they got that promotion. Someone's in a happy relationship. Scarcity says, it'll never last. Someone loses weight. Scarcity says, I hate you. To transcend this negative, selfish darkness, share congratulations. Open your heart and be sympathetic with the joy of others. Congratulations actually means or involves being concerned with, being compassionate toward, being friendly, supportive, enjoying the joy and successes of others. So apply the golden rule. Treat others the way you would want to be treated. If you lost a bunch of weight, how would you want other people to react? If you just got a lovely new home, if you were in a really happy, stable relationship, how would you want other people to express their joy for you in that happiness? Now, we have to resist the temptation to apply the fool's golden rule, which is to treat others the way they treat you. This kind of tit for tat mentality is definitely a derivative of scarcity. They were never happy for me, therefore I'm not going to be happy for them. Isn't that competitive? Isn't that comparison? That is a scarcity mindset. Resist the temptation to fall into scarcity and instead embrace abundance by sharing congratulations. Even if this is hard for you, even if all you can do is want to be happy for them, that's a starting point. Go from there. Let that desire to want to have some abundance in your life and want to be genuinely happy for them, let that work in you and build from there. The Care Bears, who were, admittedly, a hallmark of wisdom for children everywhere, they used to say, caring is sharing. Use these principles of sharing to break free from the scarcity mindset that keeps you locked in battle with others and with yourself, always comparing, always in competition, never feeling like you are or have enough. You can do so much to break those chains simply by sharing. The great thing about this is that one way that it builds that feeling of abundance, that feeling of security and confidence and personal worth, is that as you can give to others appreciation, recognition, hopefully you'll be able to give some of that to yourself. You'll recognize that if there's enough for other people, there must be enough for me too. Another thing that you'll find as you let go of scarcity is that you're not as afraid anymore. You're not as afraid of other people getting a promotion, other people having a new home, or having a happy relationship, or their kids doing really well in sports or school or something, because it's not a competition. It's not a comparison. You don't need to compare yourself. There's plenty of room for everyone at the top. And you'll begin to feel that confidence. It will rise within you. And you'll recognize that you are worth everything. Now, this is, of course, a lot easier to say than to do. But you don't have to be afraid that it's all or nothing, that you have to make the leap from scarcity to abundance all at once. Just take the next actionable step. Abundance says there is plenty of time, plenty of opportunities, plenty of chances for you to try and try and try again. The key is to keep moving forward, keep working at it, keep finding opportunities to share, keep chipping away at those chains of scarcity until you are freed and can really begin to embrace abundance. Bit by bit, more and more, just like layers of trust, it will build and build and build until it's easy to find and easy to give. Remember that forward is forward, no matter the pace. It's not a race. It's not a competition. Embrace abundance. Thank you so much for being with me today. I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts and ideas about these topics, about scarcity and abundance, and how you have recognized those in your life and ways that you found to overcome and to embrace abundance and to grow your self-confidence. And take a moment to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you join me on this journey. Now go and be golden.